Play.
Good morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Where I am, it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this sort of watch along, almost sort of, watch along / recap or view around the grounds of day 4 of the French Open, of course, at Roland Garros. We've already had a few results that have kicked through today already. Stefanos Tsitsipas, comfortable free setter or a slightly shaky free setter, depending on how you want to look at that second set. That's taken place, and we've got some scores that have just popped up onto the side screen as well. Other results or other notable results: Jessica Pegula through to the second round as well in her match. She was on Philippe Chatrier, where she, beat Camilla Giorgi. Had to retire earlier on in the proceedings, or basically after the end of the first set, which was won by Pegula 6-2. And then the good news, which of course is, I say good news if you're a fan of Svitolina, is that she beat Storm Hunter in 3 sets. It was a little bit more of a gun-ho approach from Storm at the start of the first set, taking it 6-2, sort of, almost like barnstorming her way to the first set there. But then Svitolina, even though she was a break down in the second set, was able to rally back to win it 6-3, and then to be able to run quite strongly to 6-1. And I can already see, looking at the Ostapenko result, that she lost to Stearns. This is a bit of a surprise. Ostapenko, of course, the 2017 champion with the 17 seeding. That's quite ironic. Unfortunately, unable to repeat the heroics of 2017, losing out to Stearns in what looks like a bit of a classic Ostapenko match, either winning it strongly in a set or losing it strongly in a set. Neither an in-between. But of course, other things we've got popping through. Elise Mertens, the classic thing of Elise Mertens, being able to beat players that are below her, but never players that are above her, was able to see off Camila Osorio 6-3, 7-6. She'll progress to the third round here, and then we've got a few double results popping through at the moment. And interestingly, if you just go back, we can see that we've got going to the person that got knocked out yesterday, Krejcikova and Slivakova, have. And these are the defending champions in the doubles, have been knocked out by Erikis and Hom. I'm going to butcher that pronunciation. Basically, the Norwegian and the Japanese contingent. But we are, of course, concentrating on the Vondroušová versus Kasatkina match here. And at the moment, we can see that Kasatkina has a break point, or did have a break point. It was a break point saved there by Vondroušová. And Vondroušová, of course, is somebody who is incredibly dangerous when it comes to playing big players. She can beat anyone on a day. Many people remember the Periately Court, almost like showpiece that took place at Rome, where she put on one of the best displays or one of the best matches of that tournament, beating Maria Sakkari in 3 sets on that court there. It was a very good match, and shows that Vondroušová, even though she's ranked around about 60 in the world, generally can play a lot higher than her actual ranking. And as we can see, she's having to save yet another set point. She's able just to run and do an inside-out forehand to take it back to juice as it is currently. And then, as we were saying, Caroline Garcia, of course, the home crowd favourite, has taken the first set 6-4 against Blinkova, and it is 1 set all there. Already, we got Rihanna Lundberg as saying that it was Brandenburg, saying it was a shock at the Ostapenko result. It certainly is a shock of the Ostapenko result. There's been a fair few shocks in the women's draw already, not only in the second round, but in the first round as well. Of course, we're just in the start of the first round here. But as I say, just trying to concentrate and see what is happening on the Vondroušová match. We are still at juice, but Vondroušová is able to take or at least been able to get to advantage on her serve there. What we got from Rina, what do you think about Kasatkina's chances here and in the tournaments generally? I'm a big Kasatkina fan. Right, I will try and channel my inner knowledge of Nick. I probably would not be able to do such a good job, but we'll give it a go anyway. So Kasatkina's chances, she hasn't necessarily played as well this season as she did last season. I know it's a bit of a loaded statement. She had such a good such a good season last season, had some really good results, but I think since the US Open, it's kind of been a little bit downhill for her in terms of the caliber of depth in tournaments that she's been able to get to. Now, I kind of would say that the match we got today with Vondroušová is a 50-50, just because of Vondroušová's ability to beat those top-ranked players and really perform on those days. However, if Kasatkina can get a good running, there's nothing to say that she can't get that form back. But I would certainly say that, maybe a couple of rounds in, but I wouldn't necessarily see Kasatkina really deep in this tournament. I'm talking semi-finals or finals. I would certainly say, she gets to the quarterfinals. That'd be quite a good result, or at least a notable result for that. If that makes any sense, Rena. Hopefully it does. As we are still at juice at the moment on this service game, as I was saying, that Kasatkina, I'm 50-50 on her getting anywhere deep in a tournament. She is causing some problems for Vondroušová, as it is now Kasatkina with a break point on Vondroušová's serve. This is the 4th break point that she's had on this service game. So Vondroušová goes down the middle. Kasatkina is able to get something back, but it was fired long. She was only able to block it back, and she blocked it long beyond the baseline, taking us back to juice. So we've got a long service game just to sort of start off the 4th game of this set. You could put in your comments below as well who you think is going to win. That'd be absolutely brilliant. And possibly even the score lines that you would kind of believe could take place as well. So Vondroušová getting herself ready, as we said, is 40-40 at the moment. And of course, hit the like button as much as you can, and share if you wish to as well. So that was a bit of a wild return again by Kasatkina. So Vondroušová is now back to having game point to make it 2 games all. A couple of good service motions there from Vondroušová, really only allowing Kasatkina to have the block serve back, as we have the game duration at around about 7.5 minutes so far. So Vondroušová up in the air, goes down the tee, bounces off the net, and bounces long beyond the service box. So we are at a second serve at the moment. So Vondroušová goes down the tee, good to return back by Kasatkina. Backhand exchange taking place at the moment between both women. Back forehand down the line. Vondroušová is really in a defensive position at the moment. Kasatkina, though, tries to do a backhand down the line, similar to a Monfils, but fires it long beyond the baseline. So we are at 2 games all as it currently stands. Here on, on not Simon Mathieu. That's the 3rd court. I'm thinking of the other one. Season on Lane. There we are. Season on Lane. That is that's the name of the court that we are on at the moment. So as I said, 2 games all. If you've got anything any questions you want to ask, any discussions that you want to start up, please do put them in the comment. That'd be absolutely brilliant. So we can get this could be anything to do with what's happening at the moment for the WTA matches that are taking place, or generally any of the matches that are taking place across the grounds, or potentially going to take place across the grounds today. I know myself, I'm particularly looking forward to seeing, as a Brit, Cameron Norrie, seeing how he does against Lucas Ploy. That's going to be, of course, on this court in online. 4th up, that'll be after the match, who I believe, if I make sure I say this correctly, because we have 4 matches on Long Lane today. We've already had the Tsitsipas match, and the next match will be, there we go. Oh, that's a terrible thing for me to try and pronounce. Šajmović versus Sabalenka. So the next match after Vondroušová is Sabalenka's match, and then it's followed by Cam. So we've got a question here saying, Cam Norrie, your favourite Brit? If he plays Murray, you team Cam. Oh, that's a fun one. I mean, has it been easier to watch Cam? It's a bit of a hard one to say, because I say hard one. Cam has been able to play a lot more matches, or at least been able to see him play a lot more matches, and especially in the deep end of tournaments. I think the key thing that appeals to me, that makes Cam appealing to me to watch, is that he's not just somebody that's going to hit it big in terms of a serve and then just try and sweep up on the 1-2. He's somebody who plays with a lot of variety in his game. He's not dissuaded from playing in the long rallies. he's not dissuaded from playing the long rallies. He's also started to develop a really strong forehand, or at least he seemed like he was developing a strong forehand in terms of from the attacking stance. Now, of course, if he plays Murray, it's almost like I can't, it's almost like I can't watch, or my allegiance kind of falls out the window, because, of course, Murray's been such an integral part of the British tennis landscape for such a long period of time. And also his matches are almost legendary in terms of the constant will he won't he runs at Wimbledon, the pain that he almost puts us through on the five setters. It creates a deep emotional bond between a fan or a supporter and the actual player himself. And I don't think any circumstance, barring that bizarre that battle of the Brits thing that took place in December, that I find it very hard to root against Murray. You kind of always have to root for him because of what he's done in the game. And he was, I know it disagrees with a lot of people that like the narrative of the big three, but it was a big four, and it certainly was a big four for such a long period of time. Such a long period of time where it was him, Nadal, Djokovic, Federer that were winning all the Masters titles, winning all the Grand Slams, and only on a few rare occasions did we ever have someone like a Wawrinka, like a Tsonga, that was able to sort of step in and win one of the other titles. I mean, and also Del Potro and Cilic as well in that sort of time span. But it was those four that led the way and pushed each other all along the way, and they all became much better players because of it. And when you listen to Nadal, when you listen to Djokovic, when you listen to Federer, they also all cite Murray as a key part of the reason why they became so good in what they were able to do and how they improved so much. So yeah, that's almost like a little rant there about Murray. It's only taken me best part of 10 minutes to get into that. So Rhea, you were saying, have you watched any of Kasatkina's vlogs? She is giving a really interesting glimpse behind the scenes of the tournaments and asking the important questions of players, etc. What is your favorite cocktail? Okay. Okay. So I've watched a few of her vlogs. I remember watching the one that was around about the time of the Hamburg Open last year. I think it was also part of the time that she really went into her opening up about sexuality, and it was really heartening to see, and also for Rublev to be to be sort of key supporter in that, and especially in some of the blogs that he partook in. I haven't seen any of them recently, but I will certainly almost like do better in terms of having a look to watch them a little bit more, as it'd be it's very interesting to sort of get that behind the scenes glimpse. I mean, I know we all try and we're in a sort of like media age, or at least an age when it comes to sport, where there was like a study or a stat that popped out somewhere. I think the ATP published it on their website, which was generally the time that you interact with the content and the time you interact with the sport is around about 50% of the actual live tennis or the actual live sport itself, sitting down watching a match in front of you, and then the other 50% is how much you try and consume other content that relates around that, other content that relates around that sport. Now that could be from listening to a podcast on the way to work, or in the morning and afternoon. It could be based around think about tennis, based around tennis. It could be watching Breakpoint, the series on Netflix. Subsequently, it could be watching the weekly magazine show ATP Uncovered. That is another way that you try and consume the content of the sport in a way that is beyond just actually watching the actual live match itself. And there are other ways in which the sport realised that is a key way that people consume it, and of course there's other examples as well when it comes to players, or at least players' families that have really embraced that. I think we can note something like Taylor Fritz's girlfriend's Morg's blogs. They tend to actually play part of that other 50%. And I've also noticed that I think Tommy Paul's girlfriend sort of followed a similar trend, where they can see that there is that gap in the market of that other 50% of time that people spend thinking or interacting with that sport and doing such that. So hopefully that was an okay sort of little homage into how certainly the sport needs to ensure that it is encapsulating that 50%. extra that isn't just people watching the live match itself, as Kasatkina's got advantage on the serve at the moment, and they've kind of gone off the boil a little bit there. So Rhea has said the one with Rublev was a different one to when they both been interviewed. Okay, apologies for that, Rhea. Kasatkina and her girlfriend are producing their own videos now, which is really excellent. You should check it out. Certainly, Rhea, I will do that, as Vondroušová is taking it back to Juice on Kasatkina's serve. A lot of Juice service games at the moment, as we're sort of playing along here. Cool, yeah. Again, make sure you keep the questions coming into the comment box. That would be excellent. And all that good stuff there. So we've got a backhand across court. Kasatkina's gone for the lob, really trying to actually stick a lot of topspin and then bring it down. Okay, backhand defensive there. I mean, Kasatkina's playing the more attacking form of tennis. Wow, that was a shot that took Vondroušová by surprise. A sort of weird sort of back, or at least like forehand over the head, which played into a key bit there. So looking at the live scores that we got somewhat around the ground as well, we can see that Garcia is now a breakdown in her match against Blinkova. After such a strong first set, let's hope to see if Garcia can actually make a move back. Other things we've got just on serve at the moment, we've seen Muchova and Podoroska. Maria Sharif has taken the first set against Potapova, but Potapova has a break in the second. Samsonova and Pavlyuchenkova are 5-4. So they are on serve as it currently stands. Putintseva is 5-3 up against Zhang. And in the men's side, we've got Wawrinka has taken the first set against Kokkinakis, 6-3. Of course, there's the potential of a bit of an aggro in that one involving Nick Kyrgios and the tweets he's put out about Stan Wawrinka's girlfriend, but that is for a different type of podcast. Hopefully that, or at least the old show. But then in the other matches, we've got Sonego, who is a bit of a good clay courter. He is 6-4 up against Hubert, and then 4-2 in the second set. And Schwartzman, who put in a really good performance in his first round match, is 3-1 down against Borges. And then we're just going through Korda. I mean, Korda was good to get through to the second round. I mean, I know he's not really played since the Australian Open, so being able to win a round and a couple of days ago was good for him, but he lost out to Altner. Fanini, backing up his win against FAA, has beaten Kubler. And of course, the Tsitsipas result that we know about there. And then we're going on to some kind of doubles, but not looking too bad, as Kasatkina is now 3-2 up, and Vondroušová is going for the going to the serve at the moment. So, like I said, please keep your questions coming in, or any thoughts, comments, anything you want me to sort of discuss, or any questions you would like me to answer. Please do put in. So Vondroušová down the line, and then backhand wide, or a backhand wide by Kasatkina. As we've also got about Muchova is now a break up. Of course, she is in that weird section of the draw, which had Sakkari as its top seed. Of course, Sakkari was unable to get past Muchova in the last round. So forward by Vondroušová, goes to the inside in, and then so Vondroušová came to the net. Kasatkina hit. It was somewhat low, a somewhat good volley, but it was also in terms of it was quite high up in terms of where it went on the net. And Vondroušová just backhanded it wide, didn't really have much of a direction on where she wanted to put that as she was closing in on the net. A bit of a failed ball toss there. Down the line. A little up there. Like I said, please do make sure you hit the like button and subscribe where you can, and please comment and ask questions or whatnot. So Kasatkina has just a bit of a failed return, as she's sneezing. I think she's sneezing. As she's sort of sneezing on the court at the moment. She's certainly. She's got something stuck in her nose. Lovely. So I think she's got herself sort of sorted there. As it is now 30-15 to Vondroušová. So Vondroušová across court, backhand by Thingy, forehand, backhand, forehand again, backhand by Vondroušová into the net. Something really is stuck up Kasatkina's nose as it currently stands. So Vondroušová just getting herself sorted there. It's 30-30 at the moment. It'd be good to see the crowd sort of filling up soon. I'm guessing, given it's France and they love their food, they're probably all tucking into some sort of delicious lunch of some degree. So Vondroušová down the line, backhand by Kasatkina, really strong backhand, puts Vondroušová on the defensive. Kasatkina runs to the net, forehands it. It was a wild swing at a forehand. It tried to go to the outside or inside out to the service line, and it fires wide beyond there. So Vondroušová sort of saved there, a little bit of luck. She kind of had a similar pointer on her own when she went to the net and kind of fired it wide as well. It's both ladies trying to find their mark on this match, or find their range. Down the line by Vondroušová, backhand drop shot, and it lands perfectly. Really good drop shot there by Vondroušová to take it to 3-3 here in the first set. So yeah, that was a bit of a stronger service game than the last couple that Vondroušová has been playing or has played. As I said, we're now at 3-3, and hopefully Kasatkina has sorted the issue in her nose. So we just got Kasatkina getting herself to serve, just showing that she's got 81% of first serves in. Really good stat there by Kasatkina. Forehand, really strong forehand. Backhand by Kasatkina. It was a backhand by Vondroušová, but she was only able to fire it into the middle part of the net. A couple of occasions now where that has taken place. So moving on from there, Kasatkina down the line, Vondroušová backhand, strong backhand as Kasatkina fires it long with a forehand. Again, like we were saying, but Kasatkina is still looking to try and find her aim as that one flies long beyond the baseline. So it's currently 15-15 at the moment. So then we go down the line there as we've got a tweet popping up from Damien Husk saying that in 2022, the NCAA champion Perron Stearns is doing really well since turning pro. She's won 4 ITF titles and she got to the WTA 250 Bogota final. And now she gets a big win over Ostapenko at Roland Garros. Heavy forehand was really clean in the set she won, and she managed to target the weaker second serve, outwinned Penko too. That's a good stat there, and that is a good find in terms of some data and evidence there, Damien. As Blinkova is a double break up against Garcia, Kasatkina fires it across court, backhand slice by Vondroušová, forehand again by Kasatkina, backhand by Kasatkina, backhand slice by Vondroušová. She's really playing that slice well, but then hits the net on a forehand on an attempt to go forehand cross court. So yeah, sitting at 30-all at the moment. 30-all. As Vondroušová is of course 4-1 up. Just having a quick glance at the scores there. She'll get a good sip of water there as Kasatkina goes to the serve. A lot of points being won on both people's serve as that forehand. What a forehand return! It looked like Kasatkina's serve out wide was long. It hit the mark, but Vondroušová was able to get a backhand right around it to make and fire it back in the opposite direction, almost catching Kasatkina out guard and giving Vondroušová a break point here in the first set. So Kasatkina goes down the tee, hits the net slightly. So then we go for I believe it was a second serve, because I think it fired long. So down the line, backhand, strong backhand by Vondroušová. Kasatkina's really firing everything at it, and Vondroušová again pushed into a situation where it is a flat backhand into the net. What we got popping through here. A lot to say about WTA, its promotional capabilities, its website, and organisation as a whole. Head-to-head tricky to find on the website is a glaring issue. Any others? That is a good sort of question there. The website. I mean, one of the key things I have with the website is, or at least with the WTA, when it comes to future planning, is the creation of a calendar, or at least a calendar in which you have the entirety of the year mapped out. So on the ATP side, where I kind of see this is them doing really well with this, you can go onto the website now and you can download a PDF of the entire calendar for next year. Granted, there's a couple of gaps where, there's one that says Europe for something in April, but that's probably going to be one of Baja Luka or Belgrade. But generally, if you wanted to, you could plan out, especially if you're looking to go to some of these events, either you live locally or you live in the sort of the continent or region, you can go onto that website, see the dates of when the tournaments are going to take, see this PDF and see the dates of when these tournaments are going to take place. And say, for example, you want to do a dream trip from Europe to North America, all over to somewhere in the Middle East. Then you can go onto that PDF, see that something like the Dubai Duty-Free Championships is going to take place from the end of February all the way through to the beginning of March. I could then book a flight or get the flight sorted 8-9 months in advance to be able to then go to that tournament, and then just buy the tickets as and when needed. Whereas on the WTA site at the moment, there's nothing for next year, which at this stage you would kind of hope that would have the calendar for next year almost sorted. But then also subsequently, after the US Open, there are, barring the challenger, the WTA 125s, WTA 125s, there are no tournaments noted down from the end of the US Open to almost the end of October, or at least by the time that you get to the WTA Tour Finals. That I believe needs to, there needs to be better addressing of that, because if you were certainly a big WTA fan, or at least a fan of going to these tournaments and wanted to know if you're going to have a WTA tournament taking place near you, certainly planning 6 months in advance is what a lot of people would like to do, and you cannot do that with the WTA. You're going to have to wait. We're going to probably wait until around Wimbledon before that part of the calendar gets filled in. And by that point, it may be quite too expensive for people to be able to then travel to some of these locations, or to be able to find a way of being able to accessing tickets. So certainly from the WTA perspective, that is what I would like to see sort of take place. Well, the things we got, even for media, better to get accreditation more in advance. Got mine for Barcelona a week before. ATP, I know. I'd say certainly for that as well. So we've got advantage Kasatkina as she hits the net to make it 40-40. Just trying to think anything else that, I also had a friend that was asking creating. I asked as a friend was asking about creating an app. I was wondering what the gaps are in the market. I find serve ratings on, and also some apps say breakpoints saved over breakpoints won. Cool. So Kasatkina hits it a good one out wide. Then we've got a small backhand slice drop shot, and it nearly works, but Vondroušova's in charge of the point, and it is a passing shot, or a passing forehand winner down the line to bring up another break points. So we've got a lot of break points in this match, just not that much in terms of conversion of set break points. Something that needs to be slightly improved. So Vondroušova, we've got break points one. Okay, so they're both won. More generally, I think, we'll go backhand, forehand by Kasatkina, backhand, forehand by Vondroušova, forehand by Vondroušova, into the net. Again, another Vondroušova pressure point into the net. Not good if you are a Vondroušova fan, or if you're Vondroušova herself. So, talking to saying again, so we've got more generically. I think ticket sales are messed up, especially at Slam, saying non-available. Then you see dozens of empty seats. Guess they are saving them for potential corporate stuff. This kind of leads into my almost like a bugbear that I have of myself, or I have myself, is that why is it that some tournaments really put a lot of their, as we have the day 5 order of play out? Excellent. We'll cover that, and then we'll come back to my bugbear about seatings. So we can see that starting at 11:45 a.m. Central European time, you got Ruud versus Zabati. Then you've got Swiatek versus Liu, Dodin versus Jabeur, and then the night match, of course, based off what we saw last night, the out of this world match that took place. I say out of this world because of the emotions and whatnot that were involved. It reminded me a lot of an Andy Murray match, effectively. You know, the late night drama with Gael Monfils is going to be taking on the Danish wildcard, the Danish superstar, or the young superstar, Holger Rune, in the night match there on Philippe Chatier. So if you've got a ticket for tomorrow, if you're in Roland Garros, if you're in Paris, then you've got a pretty good showing there. I wonder where else we've got fun court assignments potentially taking place as I just scroll down my schedule. So we got on to give you some other court assignments. So then taking place on, as it's now turning into a public service broadcast announcement. We've got on court Suzanne Longleng, as we've got to come to a break here on the Vondroušová match where we're still on serve at 4-3 to Kasatkina. You've got first match up, not before, well, I say 10 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock French time. You've got Alina Rybakina versus Noskova. That should be a cracker. You then got Yannick Sinner versus Daniel Altmaier. Then we've got Grabia versus Coco Gauff. And then the final session match is the French player Arthur Rinderknecht versus Taylor Fritz. That was a good match with Richard Gasquet, especially that final set yesterday. On Simon Mathieu, you got Day versus Keys, which, given the fact they're two Americans, I find it quite a surprise that they put them up first of all so early in the day. And then you've got Diane Parry versus Mia Andreeva, of course, the Andy Murray superfan herself and the 16-year-old wonder kid. How many times have we said that in the women's game with that 16-year-old wonder kids? Playing second up on Simon Mathieu. Big court for a potential big name star of the future. Then we got Aslan Karatsev versus Taylor Fritz. No, Aslan Karatsev versus Francis Tiafoe, and then Alexander Zverev versus Alex Molchan. On court 14, you got Thomas Martin Etcheverry versus Alex de Minaur, Bar Pera versus Vetic, Paul versus Jarry, and Andrescu versus Navarro. I find that a bit of a nasty court assignment almost for Andrescu, given the brilliant match he played against Azarenka yesterday, but okay. And then you've got court 7, you've got Schneider versus Haddad Maia, Rustavori versus Dimitrov, Duron versus Lehechka, Davis versus Serenko. And then you've got something on court 6, you've got Courage versus Kachin, Alexandrova versus Freeman, Paoloni versus Danovic, and Francisco Cerundolo versus Yannick Haffman, who Haffman was in a big match yesterday as well, and a few other ones that are taking place on the smaller courts there. Unfortunately, for the vanquisher of Daniel Medvedev, Simona Wine is being shoved out on court 9. So you've been the biggest match of your life and one of the biggest courts in tennis, and you still get shoved out to court 9 for your second round match. Good one there. Kasatkina has 3 break points, and she has, as I was reading out the results, the scores there, and Kasatkina has broken Vondroušová, who is hunched over a racket. So it's now 5-3. 5-3 to Kasatkina, who's looking to take the first set. Looking to take the first set here. I will come back to certainly the questions and the comments in the chat. We're just going to watch and see if Kasatkina can take this first set here. So Kasatkina, cross court wide. I'll say firing it to the wide baseline, but no luck. Oh, Vondroušová walks into that second serve. No luck at all. As I get a McDonald's notification for dip hooray, McNugget sauce when you try some sort of weird whatever. It's amazing what weird notifications you get through your phone. So Kasatkina goes down the tee. Vondroušová, good backhand up the line. Comes forward, backhand wide. Kasatkina, good defensive display. Is able to continuously keep on getting the ball back. Vondroušová has been pushed back beyond the baseline. Backhand by both ladies. As a brilliant backhand by Vondroušová up the line. Caught Kasatkina out. She thought she was going to go back cross court, but actually she went up the line. So we're at 15-15. 15-15 here. So Kasatkina down the tee, but it's long. So cross court, walks into it for Vondroušová. Forehand, backhand by Kasatkina. Forehand by Kasatkina again. Backhand by Andreska into the net. How many times have I said that before? Backhand by Vondroušová into the net. 30-15 to Kasatkina. 40-15 to Kasatkina. The sun's starting to really come out where I'm at the moment. That's excellent to see. It was a very overcast morning. So Kasatkina goes cross court but hits the net. So Kasatkina down the tee. Vondroušová strong backhand exchange taking place at the moment. Cross court really into the corner by Kasatkina. Vondroušová could do nothing with that return, but hit it wildly into the net onto the floor as we get a shot into Kasatkina's box. 2 set points here for Kasatkina. That was a strong backhand, really strong backhand. So Kasatkina, get herself ready. Down the tee, Vondroušová blocks return. Kasatkina runs onto it and hits it straight to Vondroušová's legs. And then Vondroušová is unable to do anything but hit it wildly into the air, lands into the middle of the tram lines, and Kasatkina takes the first set 6-3 here. Takes the first set 6-3 on Suzanne Lenglen, as I'll get the court names right. There we go. It was a bit of a nip and tuck first set. You could very much say both players had breakpoint chances, failed to convert on a range of occasions, but the pressure by Kasatkina ran out, and as such, it is now a first set to Dasha. And I can see, Ria, you are very happy at that. Yes, Dasha, she's taken that as we get a promo of Cam Norrie popping up. We've got an interview by him as well. We'll leave good old Cam and his curvy backhands or forehand. Sorry. So just going back to what we were saying, as we are now in this sort of small break at the moment. It was about we'll first of all talk about Reyes. So Reyes said something that I was wondering about. Sabalenka mentioned that she doesn't have a visa for Wimbledon yet. How worried should I be about this? Is there a chance that she will be denied entry? I would see it as I'm a Brit, but I have no idea about our immigration rules when it comes to letting in nationals from Russian or Belarusian locations or nationalities. I think she'll still get the visa. I just suspect that our government's been quite strict when it comes to allowing Russians and Belarusians into the UK as of late. So like I said, use that word a lot. I suspect that her application is just in quite a bit of a more of a scrutinous sort of queue or pile almost, and she's currently. She should get it. I suspect she'll get it. I mean, Wimbledon's not too far away. By the looks of it, though, she hasn't signed herself up for any grass court tournaments in the UK. Now, I haven't seen the entry lists for Berlin or to Hergenbosch. I think she may be on the list for to Hergenbosch. Don't quote me on that. Or what's the other one we got? Bad Homburg. That's the other one. That's the other grass court tournament on the women's side that takes place outside the UK. But I suspect by early July she'll have the visa sorted, so she should be able to compete at Wimbledon. I mean, she did fairly well at Wimbledon 2 years ago. She got to the semi-finals, and generally with her game should be a big threat on grass. And there's a possibility she could possibly win it, especially given the fact that Iga isn't exactly a grass courter herself, and her only real competition would be the defending Wimbledon champion, Rybakina. So we'll have to very much see what takes place there. Other things we got from Ria is I was concerned because it sounded like Medvedev also doesn't have a visa yet. Like I said, I think they should get their visas sorted. For Russian and Belarusian players, they should get their visas sorted. It is somewhat notable because I've looked at the lists from the LTA, which is the Lawn Tennis Association, which is the British tennis, almost like organisation. That no Russian players have really decided to actually play any of the build-up grass court events, at least on the men's side that I've seen, and certainly on the women's. There's a Belarusian, Ilya Ivanska, who signed up to Surbiton, which is taking place next week. But barring that, I cannot see I'm just looking at my phone because I've got them getting the lists up here. So looking at Queens. Again, Queens, I'm not seeing a Russian or Belarusian. Not on that list for Queens so far. I'm not going to consider SDN. No, it's all pulled out there. And then the Eastbourne list. And again, on the Eastbourne list, I also don't see any Russian or Belarusian players. So it's I know they've decided probably to play their tennis or their grass court tennis away from the UK for the majority of the time. But that's be interesting to see if they. I don't say be interesting to see. They will end up playing Wimbledon, but they will just end up choosing just to come to Wimbledon for the Wimbledon 2 weeks, and that will be about it before leaving again. Which, if you're a fan of any of the Russian or Belarusian players, and you're English, British, be a bit of a downer. Be a bit of a downer for you, but I don't suspect there'll be too much of an issue. I think they will get their visas sorted. There we go. As I've leaned on that a lot. So as Daria Kasatkina has already broken, as I was too busy talking about that, Daria Kasatkina has already broken at the beginning of the second. I think she's looking now possibly to almost run away with it at this point. Other scores around the ground. Caroline Garcia is fighting back on Philippe Chartier. Well, she was fighting back as we just had a refresh of the bar. She's now lost the second set 6-3. But similarly, she did lose the second set in her match a couple of days ago. So I'm not overly concerned, but I feel like, hopefully Garcia will be able to get through that. Other results we've got. So we've got Muchova has taken the first set against Podoroska, 6-3. Maria Sharif has sort of drawn it back, at least the break back, but it is 5-4 to Potapova over on court 12. If we're able to scroll across the results, that'd be excellent. Excellent. And then we got, keep on going, we got Samsonova, like we said, taking the first set against Pavlyuchenkova. It's 2-2 at the moment in the second set. Putintseva did take the first set against Shui Zhang, and it is on serve 2-1 to Zhang in the second set. Moving over to the ATP, it is 5-5 at the moment between Radrinka and Kokkinakis on the second set there on serve at the moment. Sonego has taken the second set as well against Hugo Humbert to make it 2 sets up. And Schwartzman has broken back, and it is currently on serve with him and Borges. Couple of doubles results. Offner, we already said about that. Okay, we already got to the completed ones there. So Vondroušová, 30-15 up at the moment. Got a forehand to forehand exchange, or backhand at the moment now. Forehand down the line by Kasatkina, really strong one there. And then Kasatkina tries to go down the line for backhand. It really was quite high in the air, and she wasn't able to get much control on it. And Vondroušová has 2 break points, or 2 break back points. Can she break back here? Let's see if she can break back. Let's certainly see if she can break back here. Remember, keep on putting the questions and whatnot into the chat. I'm going to get back to the other one about corporate boxes, or at least empty seats in just a minute once we get these break points over. Forehand, backhand by Kasatkina. Forehand by Vondroušová. Backhand by Kasatkina again. Vondroušová into the net. The slogan of this match, Vondroušová into the net, has taken place there. So one of the 2 break back points has been saved by Kasatkina. Now move on to the second break back point. Let's see what happens here. So Kasatkina down the line, backhand, wide backhand. An attempt by Vondroušová to hit the backhand up the line has failed as it goes long beyond the tram lines. So those 2 break back points have been saved. And we're now at juice here on Kasatkina's serve. Let's see if she can hold it. Vondroušová's looking very focused at the moment. So down in the middle one there, that kind of an attempt to tuck Vondroušová up kind of took her by surprise. She was thinking it would go wide, thinking it'd go down the tee. The serve actually was right in the middle of the service box. Tucked her up, and Vondroušová can only thing she can do is to fire it long. So advantage Kasatkina. Kasatkina, good serve again, close to service box line. Vondroušová is on the defense at the moment. Backhand by Kasatkina down the line, but if it goes onto the tram lines, it goes into the middle of the tram lines. Vondroušová sticking in there and forcing the mistake out of Daria Kasatkina. So 40-40 at the moment. So at 40-40 at the moment. All looking good. Backhand, forehand by Kasatkina. Backhand, forehand wild. Forehand very wild. Forehand very wild there by Vondroušová. So can Kasatkina finally got this and get it to 2-love? Backhand, forehand, backhand again, forehand, backhand. Strong forehand by Kasatkina. Forehand again by Kasatkina, really pushing Vondroušová back. Backhand exchange at the moment. Forehand by Kasatkina, really loopy forehand. Really trying to, and Kasatkina down the line. Backhand, forehand, backhand again. Really strong rally taking place here by both ladies. Loopy forehand by Kasatkina, really trying to push Vondroušová back beyond the baseline. Down the line by Kasatkina, and Vondroušová, all she can do is fire it wide on the forehand, and Kasatkina is able to take it to 2-love here. 2-love. Good work. Good work by Daria, who is looking to finish off, who's looking to make the second set a little bit quicker than the first. And the first set took 55 minutes. So she's getting herself into position and ready. So there was a part question that popped up. It was about seating. So my biggest bugbear about seating is, and that was a question that was posed a while back, as we get a bit of a sliced exchange between the two players there. So my biggest bugbear with seating, or at least the way in which seating is allocated, is how tournaments choose to place those corporate box seats. So in a lot of the big courts, and certainly the French are terrible at this. Sorry, French, and also the Spanish. It's where they put all their sort of, their corporate seating, their big hospitality type seating, the ones in which you're spending thousands of pounds, and you're also going to get maybe a prawn sandwich, that sort of thing, with it. They put them all around, literally on the court side, and not just on one side of the court or two sides of the court. It is on every, on both baselines, on both sides as well. That is where they stick the corporate seating, and it can go up, and there can be a lot of it, like significant numbers of rows going up into the stands. And the problem that you have with that, and it's something that was noted on Philippe Chatier. What was noted on Philippe Chatier certainly yesterday was that a lot of people that had corporate seats were off somewhere else, before the Gael Monfils match started. So you had a situation where in the gods, in the sort of second tier of the stadium, that was absolutely packed. Anyone who had a night ticket, they were all there. They were already from literally the first point. The seats, though, around the side were barely full. They were actually quite empty. So from a viewer's perspective, where I am at the moment, watching this on my TV or iPad or whatever, I am just seeing the empty seats and somehow wondering where some of the noise is coming from if I had the noise up. What I would do if I was a sort of a tournament director is that I would not have every single side of my stadium full of corporate seats. Now, I know Indian Wells tend to actually do this really well, where the corporate seats are almost like between the top, the second tier and the first tier. There's almost like a gap in between where they can have all those big corporate boxes, and you can have all that plush, all that sort of plush seating. but then they do enable a lot of people to be able to buy tickets. Normal fans like you, like you or me, or the people that who are in this chat or in this stream. Sorry, they do allow those people to be able to then buy those tickets at courtside, really to be able to feel that they're close to the action, and generally it can create a much better atmosphere when you actually have more people that are our regular fans who are really wanting to get into a match as close as possible to the court. So what we noticed with the Pirangi court in Rome, and I keep bringing that up because it was a brilliant court, was that it was a big court, but everyone was as close to the court itself as possible, and it really creates a really strong, good atmosphere. And it really means as you as a fan, you can get really quite close to the action or close to the players and really be a part of that story. Now, I would certainly say, like I said, I would not have the big corporate seats all along all four sides of the court straight, and then having the normal seats way far back. I would certainly have it where you would have either, if you want to have one side do that. I know the Italian Open tends to do that a bit in terms of where it has its corporate seats. The issue they've got with the Italian Open, in my opinion, when it comes to the main court or the centre court, is that where they position the camera to watch the match, the corporate seats are literally the ones you can see at the back end of the screen. So when you're looking at a court, the seats that you got at the back on the baseline of the far end, they're the seats that are for the corporate people, and they were really empty. And there was a big match where it was absolutely packed everywhere else around the court. That area was not packed; it was completely empty, and it just looked really horrible as a viewing experience or as a product that you want to try and sell to people to go watch. So there you go. That is my slight rant about corporate seats and where they're located around big courts in the world, or at least at the tournaments. I'm trying to think of any other good ones that are worth talking about. Probably not in that perspective, as it is currently 40-40 at the moment between Kasatkina and Vondroušová. Kasatkina looking to get the double break here. Able to get a good backhand return deep on that one there. And it was long, or not long, it was just on the line. Kasatkina, we're going cross court to cross court exchange. Strong backhand by Kasatkina. Backhand by Kasatkina again. Forehand there. Backhand down the line. But unfortunately, it didn't fit the line. It stayed in the middle of the tram lines. So Vondroušová has game point on her own serve. As we have the game duration clock popping up at just over 5 minutes for this game here. So Vondroušová going for the serve. Like I said, please make sure that you like, comment in the comments box, any questions, thoughts, comments. Could be about tennis, could be about the WTA, could be about the ATP, anything at all about the good old tennising world. Any players that you want to know my opinions on in terms of how well I think they may do this tournament, or if they're not there, or how well they think they do, how well I may think they do for the rest of the season. As of course we've got, after this tournament, we then run straight into the grass court season, which is personally my favourite part of the season. I'd probably guess I'd say that as being British. So what have we got there? So we got talking tennis again. Who is likely to stop Iga? So in this tournament, who is more likely to stop Iga? But I would say, now I'm thinking back to what was it, Rome, when Iga played Rybakina, because the issue we got, but there are issues with taking that result as a contender analysis because of the way that those conditions were different. So what we noted was, of course, that Medvedev, when and part of the reason why he ended up crashing out yesterday was that in Rome the conditions were very heavy and very cold. Cold and wet, so it made the conditions quite heavy, and it meant that the ball wasn't sitting up as much, or wasn't flying up as much into the air, as comparison with it during a really hot sunny day, which then meant that you could kind of, and it favoured those, almost like at the moment it favours those people that, in those scenarios, it favoured the people that didn't have to generate too much pace off a ball. Now, I would say, when it comes to Rybakina, I'm probably not making a little bit of sense here. I'll try and solidify my thoughts. basically the two people that would most likely stop Iga Swiatek at the moment at Roland Garros would be either Rybakina or it would be Sabalenka. If they do it or not is another matter. Now, both players have wins against Iga in clay court events that are taking place in the main build-up. Sabalenka, of course, beat Iga in 3 sets in Madrid, and Rybakina beat, granted with a retirement, but she was looking like the better player in the 3rd set, beat Iga in Rome. Now, in the case of Madrid, altitude plays a key part there. So people that are big servers are going to be able to do well in Madrid because they're not having to fight with the court as much to be able to then hit through it. So you can hit through a altitude court a lot better than you could do on a court that's at sea level, for example. With that in mind, it then evens the playing field a bit for Iga in a contest with Sabalenka again, because Paris is actually closer to sea level, much closer to sea level than Madrid was. So she won't have to fight. So Sabalenka will have to fight with the elements a lot more, or at least fight with the court a lot more to be able to try and hit through it. That, I would certainly say that would be a major contender. I would probably favour Rybakina over Sabalenka. Now, of course, like I said, Rybakina's issue was that when she beat her, or at least with the retirement, or looked good in that match, was that Rybakina played. It was dead. It was dead at night. It was freezing. It was wet. The conditions were a lot heavier, and as such, it made Rybakina's game a lot stronger in those scenarios. And again, there was not a situation of it being really hot, really dry, and the ball sitting up as much, but Iga could play around with that a lot more with her opponent. I would generally, though, say that because of the fact that the head-to-head quite recently and the fact that Rybakina in the last 3 occasions has got the better of Iga, yes, granted 2 of those occasions were on hard courts, that will play a psychological mind. And I think if those 2 players ever met in Roland Garros, of course, it would be on Philippe Chatrier, then it would be a close contest. But that would be the person, Rybakina would be the best placed person, in my opinion, to actually then win a match against Iga Swiatek in the French Open this year. Now, of course, for the rest of the year, we kind of can count Iga out when it comes to the grass court. She's not very good at it. We hope to see some improvement at Wimbledon this year. Let's see how many, she didn't really play any grass court tennis but in the build-up to Wimbledon, and maybe that played a factor in her inability to do well on that surface. But she did lose to Cornet, and Cornet is a good grass courter. So we'll have to see what happens there. But I hope that Iga plays a build-up tournament on the grass this year so that she can get a good feel going into Wimbledon. But generally, we're looking at that contest and seeing it's going to be one of either Rybakina or Sabalenka, in my opinion, who is going to win that title. I don't see anyone outside of those 3 players doing it. And then at the US Open, again, it's all up in the air. Rybakina would be the best placed person, in my opinion, to be able to beat Swiatek. But then, of course, Sabalenka is the Australian Open champion and could bring a really strong level to that contest as well. It's cool. As I start to lose my voice, Rena saying, do you have an opinion about the apparent lack of respect shown for women's tennis recently in Madrid and Rome? E.g., finals played late at night or with no TV streaming or no speeches allowed. Now, this is something, and I forgot to say, by the way, Kasatkina got broken back, so it's 2 games all at the moment in the 2nd set. So let's go into this. It is how best to start. The situation of starting with the Rome situation. I say situation. That match should never have kicked off at 11 o'clock at night at Rome time. That match should. I don't necessarily have a problem with that final being scheduled for a 6 o'clock nighttime showing. I think that's brilliant. Nighttime, prime time. Sticking it on then for a 6 or 7 o'clock start for a best of 3 set match. Brilliant. That will help bring in TV numbers. That will help bring in eyes to the sport. That will help boost these 2 women's profiles. As soon as it was apparent that it was going to be a 10 o'clock plus start time for that women's final. That match should have been instantaneously cancelled and moved to the next day, and anyone who had a nighttime ticket should have been reimbursed. You cannot have a final of a W1000 event take place at 11 o'clock at night with nobody really watching. And I said nobody really watching. Nobody. For it to be very hard for a European audience at home to be able to watch. For the fans in the stadium who would need to try and find ways of sticking around, that is not good enough. And the argument that was sort of put out by the WTA, granted, we're getting this through the speech or through the press conference by Carolina, is that the tournament suggested that there's already a packed schedule for Sunday and it couldn't possibly be moved to there. That doesn't add up. You've got 2 matches on for the Sunday. All you need to do is to have an earlier start time for the men's doubles. I mean, I'm a big fan of doubles, but even I would see that it'd be better just to move that forward by 3 hours. You could have had that starting at midday, have the women's match played at 3 o'clock, and then have the men's match start at 6 o'clock. That way, you've got a good time span between all three matches, and there's a little bit of an overrun. But it's already all planned in. Especially given the fact that the next day, regardless of weather, it looked as though regardless of weather, the weather looked better. But you should never take weather into account when it comes to your scheduling, unless you're trying to rearrange some matches because they were called off because of rain. Because I think the way that Indian Wells do it works quite well, where you've got where you can have a women's match and a men's match take place on the same day. So, but yeah, certainly that women's match, that final, should not have kicked off at 11 o'clock. It should have taken place at around about 3 o'clock on the Sunday, after it was quite apparent that match was never going to go on. Nick's just tweeted, and I will come back to the next bit, Rena. I really need to watch a Penton Stearns match soon. She seems to be going places. She certainly does, Nick. I tell you what, I'm surprised, Nick. I would have thought you would have watched another one of Penton Stearns matches already. But you've got another chance in a couple of days' time to be able to see Stearns in action, as Radwanka is looking to take it to a tiebreaker as we get in the second set there. And Simon Chambers has tweeted, Frenchman Nicolas Mahut is currently on court in doubles at Roland Garros. This is his 23rd Roland Garros. Spoke to Nicolas last year for the Roger Federer effect, and he told me that a fabulous story about Roger Federer at Roland Garros and a call from a president. Interesting. Have a read of Simon Chambers' work to see how the conversation took place almost. But then going on, Rena, what you're saying? The thing with Madrid with the no speeches, I think, was terrible. It was certainly terrible. Even if you're not going to get a great reception when it comes to, I say get a great reception in terms of the tournament when it comes to how those players would tread, but based off an issue with cake sizes, they still should have had the ability to be able to thank their fans, thank the tournament, usually thank the sponsors, thank the player and the players team and the great work they've done in that week and all that usual thing that you get in the speeches. They should have the ability to be able to do that. And just because you're fearful of what they're going to say, that should not stop people from being able to speak. You go down that line, and it's something similar to almost like third world dictators, or looking back to dictators back in time. And that's not a society, that's not a sport that any of us really want to be a part of, where we're hushing up people because we know that what they're going to say that we're not going to like. The whole of the free speech is there for a reason, and it shouldn't have been stopped. Then you got at the moment a bit of a situation at Roland Garros. The stories never end about as we saw with the order of play that has been published for tomorrow. That is now the fourth men's match. It is now the fourth or fifth men's match in a row that is going to be played in the night session. As we know, from last year, there were 14 night sessions in total last year, and 13 of them were men's matches. The only other one that was a women's match was a Elise Cornet match, which was a French woman. I've forgotten who she played against, but I believe she lost that match. That was the only night match that was shown that was a women's match. And there is a degree where you have to go, is that right or fair? And generally, it's not right or fair. There should be a situation where there needs to be a lot more women's matches being played in those night sessions. Especially given the late start time. Although it's not as bad as last year. Last year it was 8:45 in the evening was the start time for the women's matches. For the nighttime match. That has been brought forward to 8:15, but that is still a very late start for a match where, especially if you think about the men's matches, like the one match that took place, last night with Monfils and Baez, that didn't finish until after midnight. Now, that's great, of course, if you're an audience that is back in time, or at least I say back in time in terms of in where they are in the globe, somewhere like the Americas. That's great for you because it means that you, in your prime time, you're able to watch the conclusion of a match at this tournament. But for somebody who's either forward in time or in the European time zones, it is very hard to be able to justify every single night staying up until midnight to be able to watch tennis, especially when a lot of these night matches are designed so that they can capture an audience which is coming home from work, that they then have the ability to be able to then watch a tennis match. I know some of my sort of best memories of Grand Slams, and especially Wimbledon, were the last match that was placed onto centre court, and the big names that will take place there, and the contest that will kick on until 9-10 o'clock at night. But generally, then it stops at 10, which then means that it's a good time to end a match, or good time for a match to finish, to be able to do a little bit of analysis, and for people to then go to bed at a more reasonable time, and then to be able to sort of repeat the process over and over again. I got a question from James, and is that you, Jeffro? I am not Jeffro. I am James. Jeffro is not here at the moment. Hopefully, you'll be happy with me, James, as your person sort of to see you through this match at the moment. I know I've kind of neglected it in a bit because Rena asked a very good question, which kind of had me going down a rabbit hole. Yeah, generally, Rena, I am not happy with the way things have gone so far. So then we are down to 3-3 at the moment in this match with Kasatkina. She took an early break in the second set, but then got pegged back, and they're currently sticking to them being on serve at the moment. So we've got an exchange taking place here. So forehand up the line, strong one by Vondroušová. To make it 30-love on her own serve. So moving on there. So Vondroušová up the tee, forehand down the line, forehand to forehand exchange. Kasatkina's really trying to stick in there, and Vondroušová hits the net. So it is now 30-15 to Vondroušová at the moment. Yeah, Vondroušová into the net. My favourite saying. So we've got forehand to forehand exchange. Oh, bounces off the net there by Kasatkina. Forehand. That hit the line. What? That hit the back end of the line. And Vondroušová is looking dismayed at such a ball. Brilliant ball there by Kasatkina. Lot of spot top spin, lot of loop to it, and bounces just off the back end of the line. 8 forehand winners for Kasatkina this set so far. Vondroušová up the tee. Kasatkina backhand by Kasatkina. Vondroušová backhand. Forehand by Kasatkina. Backhand by Vondroušová. Really strong backhand. Slice there by Vondroušová. Lob by Daria. And it is just long by Kasatkina. 40-30 to Vondroušová at the moment. Really, you're saying thanks. I appreciate the answer. The obvious lack of respect for women is something that has bothered me more and more, and I'm glad more people are talking about it. Hopefully, it can lead to change. I do too, Rina. I certainly do too. And hello, James. Well, it's good to see. It's good to see you in the chat as well, Jane. Forehand on the line, backhand tipped off the top of the net there. Vondroušová is able to hold her serve 4-3, and we're going to cut to a small video whilst the players sit down.
Coming to you every evening, night, day, depending on where you are in the world, will be The Last Ball Drops. This will be a show on talking tennis as soon as that ball drops on the last match of the day, morning, afternoon, evening or night at Roland Garros, probably on Philippe Chatrier. We will go live with a review of the day's play. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. That way, as soon as we go live, you'll get the notification, you can come and join us, and you'll get to hear the thoughts of people such as Mario, Damien, Jack, Nick, many more, maybe even me from time to time. You know the drill. Make sure you subscribe. See you soon.
There we go. Make sure, as that video from John dictates, that you tune in for the last ball every night after the last ball is played, as was said, most likely on Philippe Chatrier, sort of a roundup of all the good bits and the discussion from all the good bits from the day's play. Okay, so Kasatkina, Vondroušová into the net, but again, that's another thing to be said there on that return shot there. As we got a list out, and as I was saying about Świątek playing a warm-up tournament for Roland Garros, I just got a thing through that the entry list for Bad Homburg has popped up, and she is on that list. That's good to see. That is very good to see there. Okay, so 15-15 at the moment on Kasatkina's serve. Things not looking as strong as they once were. But Vondroušová is looking backhand down the line, really fires well, and takes it to 30-15. Vondroušová is looking good at the moment. Backhand by Vondroušová, forehand by Kasatkina. Backhand, forehand by Kasatkina, forehand by Vondroušová. Oh, and Kasatkina tries to go for the drop shot. Absolutely no power onto it, and it fails to even hit the net. It literally dribbles onto the floor before going away. And then we also got a thing about make sure you check out weekly WTA show with Nick. He is on from a couple of weeks ago with Renee Stubbs. Please do make sure you check out Nick's show as well as Mario's show for the ATP. Backhand by Vondroušová, who's got 2 break points at the moment. Backhand, forehand by Vondroušová, forehand very long by Vondroušová. She is not happy with that. You can tell that she is not happy with that. So Kasatkina up the line, Vondroušová backhand by both. Forehand by Kasatkina up the line. Backhand by Kasatkina. Forehand up the line. Forehand again. Backhand exchange taking place. Kasatkina really trying to put her away. But Vondroušová hits it long. No luck taking place there for Kasatkina. Well, for Vondroušová. 2 break points, both squandered. As the comment on the screen says, we've got, talking tennis, we've got content coming up from Tom when it comes to covering the Djokovic-Fucinic match. And then immediately after, the last ball drops, French Open Daily Show. Make sure you watch. Make sure you do watch and tune in for that. Too long there by Kasatkina, who has advantage on her serve at the moment to try and take it to 4-4. Forehand, long by, well, that was a strong forehand by Vondroušová. Literally wrapped the racket around it, cross court, nothing Kasatkina could do about that. Absolutely nothing Kasatkina could do about that. So forehand up the line by Kasatkina. Vondroušová into the net. There we go. Again, on that one there, as she hobbles over her racket, not looking the best pleased, because it gives Kasatkina a advantage on her own on Kasatkina's serve. Up the line, backhand by Vondroušová, forehand by Kasatkina. Vondroušová wildly swings at her backhand, and Kasatkina able to hold serve to make it 4-4. We are in the business end of the second set here. It could be any player could take it at the moment. It feels like any player could take the second set. Marketa is running strong, or at least playing strong in this match at the moment. Yeah, but keep on asking questions and comments in the chat. That'd be absolutely brilliant. I'm here to answer anything that you want me to have an attempt to answer to. If ever wants to hear my opinions on things, please do put a comment. As Vondroušová fires it into the net on a backhand there. So backhand into the net from Vondroušová. I wish there was some sort of stat graphic that showed the amount of times that Vondroušová has hit it into the net as her unforced error or forced error. So Vondroušová out wide. Kasatkina, good return. Vondroušová is at the net though. Forehand smash close to the line by Vondroušová at the net. And takes it to 15-15. Let's get themselves sorted here. So Vondroušová tries to go out wide, fires into the net. Vondroušová down the line, backhand by Kasatkina. Kasatkina's in control at this point at the moment. It's a long backhand. Oh, and just not enough on that return there by Kasatkina, firing it into the net. So it's 30-15 to Vondroušová at the moment. We'll just have a quick look around the scores around the ground so we can see that on court Philippe Chatrier, Caroline Garcia is a breakdown. The fifth seed is a breakdown in the final set to Blinkova, who is leading 4-2. Over on what court we got here, but let's go over to court 13, where we can see Mukchova and Podoroska are now a set all and 1-1 in the final decider, which is a bit of a change up there. 5-5 between Samsonova and Pavlyuchenkova. Zhang and Putintseva are 1 set apiece. Potapova has seen off Maria Sharif in 3 sets. And I saw a couple of British flags, which I think is Nicole Barnett's, and Barnett and Nicole, who unfortunately lost to Paolini and Traversan. Idea on that regard. Over on the ATP side, we got a ton of doubles. That's good to see. We got the completed matches. And my net is at 40-40 at the moment between Vondroušová and Kasatkina. I'm sure they'll pop up at another point. Backhand, wow, nice, cute backhand by Kasatkina. as it is 1-all and a breakup for Kokinakis, as is noted in the match on Simon Mathieu. We currently have Kasatkina at the moment is got advantage on Vondroušova's serve. This is looking to make it 5-4. Down the tee by Vondroušova, hits the net, second serve. Vondroušova along the court, strong backhand by Daria, forehand by Daria, forehand by Vondroušova, sorry. Forehand wide by Vondroušova. Kasatkina takes the break, maybe a very crucial break, 5-4 up at the moment. Can she serve it out here? Can she serve it out to take the second round match here? Very good forehand to forehand contest took place there, but in the end, it was taken by Kasatkina, who was just able to keep it in the lines, and that was something that Vondroušova was unable to do. As we get a look at disdain from her face at the moment. As we're running along there. So you can see we've got any updates from social media from any of the bits. But on a good British front, Joe Salisbury and Majid Ram have won their first round match. That's good to see. Against Hugo Dellien and Gildo Pereira. That's good to see. They won the Leon title last week, so it's good to see them taking up some wins, which is good to see. It was a bit of a terrible start to the season, to be honest. So we've got something on the board. So I didn't pick Stevens or Stearns to win their rounds, but I did pick Calder and Isner, so maybe just take my tennis qualification away from me now. Thanks. Oh, that's a shame, Isabel. I'm surprised you picked Calder, to be honest, given the fact he's played barely any tennis. But yeah, I mean, Stevens, you don't know what Stevens is going to rock up after the time. Either she's going to blast you away and it's going to be brilliant tennis, or it's going to be a pretty sour exchange. As it's 15 love to Kasatkina. They're back on court. So Kasatkina down the line, backhand by Vondroušova. We've got a bit of a backhand by Vondroušova. She's running forward, up in the air by Kasatkina, and it pushes Vondroušova way back, which is good for Daria. Oh, really good deep return there by Daria. Changed this point, but then hits it long. 15-all at the moment. We've got a small check flag. Unfortunately, he's waving it the wrong way around. So what I liked about watching Stearns today was that she didn't just make it about Ostapenko's unforced errors account to determine the outcome. She actually stepped in and struck purposely herself. Turn serve was dialed in and inspired much of the way too. Good there by Jake in terms of good analysis. Okay, we got backhand by Vondroušova, forehand by Vondroušova into the net, making it 40-15 to Kasatkina. We got 2 match points. Pavlyuchenkova wins the second set. So we've got 2 match points for Kasatkina. Cross court, backhand by Vondroušova. Forehand again at the baseline here. Drop shot attempt by Pavlyuchenkova. Oh, no, Vondroušova. God, there's too many overs in the name. So Vondroušova drop shotted it, brought Kasatkina forward, and Kasatkina on the return hit it long. As I now have welders outside my house, lovely. So we've got another break point though here for Kasatkina. Forehand, backhand by Kasatkina, forehand by Vondroušova, backhand again, cross court on both occasions. Strong forehand by Kasatkina. Down the line by Kasatkina. Into the net by Vondroušová. That was the way it had to always end. So Kasatkina takes the second set and the match. She wins it 6-3, 6-4 here on Suzanne Longlang. Again, I keep on getting the names wrong. She has a lot of points. I think there's about a lot of points to defend, but that is a good win for Daria. That is a good win for Daria. I believe that we should have a very happy Rhea. Yes, Dasha again has popped up. She has taken it as my Twitter account. That pops into the perspective. If you wish to give me a follow, please do. It is at Tennis Ranter. And of course, I spout unwanted opinions about tennis and can sometimes be insightful. And as you can tell, I usually take a photo, or at least my header photo, or my background photo. Is usually the last tournament that I attend in person. So you can see there that you have the indoor tournament in Marseille, the match there, which you can get some pretty good views. And I also like to have the last British winner is my profile pic. And you got a few more tweets there. Again, a good image there. Of course, the two of the greatest matches of 2023 were, of course, Andy Murray's match against Kokkinakis and Gael Monfils' matches. It shows why five-setters are absolutely brilliant. And of course, Mark Petchey can be always very insightful in everything he states there. Just got Mats Wilander coming on just to have a chat with Daria at the moment. So that then sort of almost finishes the second match on Suzanne Online for today. Like we got Sabalenka, of course, popping up next, or popping up onto screen next for her match, and of course there's a range of other matches which are going to be taking place later today. As obviously people are following me, that's really good to see. I just open up my phone just to have a look. Yeah, like I said, make sure you hit the like button on this video, and that you tune in for all the videos that are taking place throughout the sort of French Open, especially the last ball drops daily Roland Garros show, which takes place after the last ball is hit at Roland Garros. Doesn't matter if it falls at 9 o'clock or 10 minutes past midnight, the show will still go on. Doesn't matter how much sleep the presenters are going to end up having at the end of it going there. But of course, other big matches that are, of course, popping up today. You've got Carlos Alcaraz and Tara versus Tara Daniel. That will be taking place on Philippe Chatier, along with Novak Djokovic versus Marton Fucinic. You've got, like I said, you've got Shimanovic versus Sabalenka next on this court, followed by Cameron Norrie versus Luca Poi. Probably guess which match I'm going to be watching on that one there. You got Wawrinka versus Kokkinakis. That's going quite tight on mature. But then you also got Rublev versus Moutet and Jean versus Anastasia. After that, Stevens, Dawic Fokina, Luca Van Asch. You've got a range of really cool options to sort of see you through for the rest of the day, almost. So that is pretty neat there. We'll just have a look at bits along at the moment, so we can see that at the moment Garcia is fighting for her life. May just quickly switch over just to see the final bits of that match to see how she's doing. So it's currently 40-40 at the moment. I've just switched over. If anyone's still here. Hey, Ghost. I must admit, I've not seen you in the chat box for a while, so that's I wonder where you ended up going to. But first of business, no worries, mate. I hope it's going well. Everything is going really well at the moment. We'll just quickly switch over for the last bits of Garcia versus Blinkova. As it's 40-40, Garcia is looking to at least take it to 4-5 and then try and actually break Blinkova on the next service game. Backhand. Forehand by Garcia down the line. Really strong forehand. Brings Garcia forward. Down the line by Garcia. And an odd bounce, a bad bounce, gives Garcia advantage on her serve. Gives an advantage on this serve. Did Vondroušová win? I'm catching up. Kasatkina won Ghost in straight sets, 6-3, 6-4. And Garcia has with a strong service explosion, takes her service game. So it is now down to Blinkova to try and see out this match, to try and beat the 5th seed. The big upset it would be of the day if she could take out Garcia. I know the French crowd will get behind Garcia as much as possible. Take everyone. Big surprise. It was 2 tight sets, Ghost. I will just say, like, it wasn't it wasn't a whitewashing from one player or the other. Both players played incredibly well. It was actually one of those really strong 2 straight setters where any player could have won either of the sets. Okay, so like I said, so we just quickly changed over just to see the end of the Garcia match, because there could be the potential of a big upset taking place on Philippe Chatrier at the moment. Or will the home crowd favourite Garcia be able to break back and keep this contest alive? So Blinkova is doing some swinging arm motions at the moment just to get herself into position. Okay, so Blinkova down the tee. Go backhand, really strong serve by Blinkova. Garcia was tucked up, and all she could do was fire a backhand return long beyond the tram lines. So Blinkova getting herself into position, getting herself ready. And I think good, strong backhand by Garcia. Forehand by Garcia, long. Forehand by Garcia, long. It is now 30-love to Blinkova. 30-love to Blinkova. 2 points away from the biggest upset of the day so far. Blinkova getting herself ready. Blinkova down the line. Up the line by Garcia. Strong return there. Pushing Blinkova wide. And a drop shot, or at least a forward facing a net almost drop shot return. Brilliant there by Garcia. Really brilliant there by Garcia. Got to the net, hugged it well, and was able to get down low enough with good hands to drop shot it back over the net and to get that point. So we're at 30-15 to Blinkova at the moment. Okay, Blinkova, just caught. Backhand, strong backhand by Garcia. Oh, terrible bounce for Garcia as she's unable to basically air swing at it. Blinkova, 2 match points at the moment. 2 match points. Are we going to see a really huge upset here in the Garcia versus Blinkova matches, in case anyone's tuned in for Kasatkina Vondroušová? So Blinkova across the line. Garcia, strong return by Garcia. Cross court. Blinkova unable to get anything on it as it goes to the feet of her racket. One of those 2 match points has been saved. Can Garcia save the second one? Okay, Blinkova. Garcia's really standing into the court. Down the line, Garcia, strong return. Forehand across the line by Garcia. Pushes over Blinkova as the ball bounces into the tram lines. We are at juice. 2 break points for Blinkova gone in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye from Blinkova. There you go. There's your pun of the day. As we get an image of Blinkova rolling on the ground as she was bowled over by Garcia's forehand return in close to the net. So juice here. I mean, good ways, but clearly we're corrupt. So Blinkova and Garcia 40-40. So juice at the moment 40-40. I would say Blinkova looking to serve for the match. Garcia looking to break back and to make it 5-5. Blinkova down the line. Garcia though hits it long beyond the tram lines. Really strong serve from Blinkova. Real bit of strength to that point. Garcia, all she could do is fire it long. Third match point here for Garcia. Also for Blinkova. Second serve return. The clay is caked on the back of Blinkova at the moment. Garcia standing well in the baseline, her usual stance. Backhand, what a forehand inside, out by Garcia. Cross court. Absolutely nothing held back on that one. Juice again. Third match point squandered by Blinkova. The crowd are really getting into it. Absolutely packed at the moment on Chatier. So, Blinkova getting herself ready. Garcia in a service position. Blinkova down line, backhand at the line by Garcia. Really strong one, and it goes beyond her. She isn't able to get anything on it. Garcia has a break back point. Garcia has a break back point. Advantage Garcia. Can she convert? Can she get it to 5-5? The crowd are static at the moment. Everything is full, near enough. Okay, Blinkova getting ready to serve. Blinkova. Saying Blinkova a lot. Blinkova. Cross court. Garcia. Strong backhand. Got a backhand exchange by both players at the moment. Blinkova. Forehand by Garcia. Oh, forehand long beyond the baseline. She just took the pace of it. She took the pace off the ball. And it fires long beyond the baseline. It just floated beyond the base. Sorry. It just floated beyond the tram lines. That's the word I'm looking for at the moment. Back to Juice. Back to Juice at the moment. So Blinkova going into serve position. So second Juice here. Cross court. Garcia, strong forehand. Backhand by Garcia. Forehand by Blinkova. Forehand by Garcia. Forehand by Blinkova long. It goes into the tram lines. Okay, so we are at advantage Garcia. Second break back point. Garcia was able with those forehands to hit it deep, really push Blinkova back, and to force Blinkova into a mistake, hitting the ball into the tram lines. Second break back point. Goes wide. Garcia, strong backhand. Forehand by Garcia. Blinkova unable in the defensive. Cross court. Garcia. No, she leaves it. Is it long? Is it long? Has Garcia saved this? Or has she just accidentally left the ball that should have been out? And it hits the line. Well, the call from the umpire is that ball was in. So what happened was that Garcia ran to the net. Blinkova went for the lob. Garcia did not follow it back. Thought it would be landing out. It just clips the back end of the line as it lands. And Garcia has squandered another break back point there. Probably her strongest chance at the moment. There's a lesson for everyone in that game there, which is always follow the ball until it gets called out. Play into the whistle, as they say in football. Okay, Blinkova goes down the line, long. Second serve, as we're back to the third Juice. Blinkova hits the net. Blinkova hits the net. Double fault. Double fault. Garcia with her third breakpoint opportunity. Is it third time's the charm for the Frenchwoman? You can see Amaury Mauresmo standing in the backdrop. 7 minutes this game is taken. Okay, Garcia ready. Blinkova down the line. Absolutely skied there by Garcia. Absolutely skied. Back to Juice. Fifth Juice. This is absolutely rammed here on Chatier. So into the net, second serve for Garcia to face against. Forehand along the line. Forehand by Garcia. Forehand by Blinkova. Backhand by Garcia. And it smashes and hits the line. It just hits the line. Goes for a backhand cross court, hits the tram line, the good tram line, and Garcia has a fourth break point. Is she finally going to see this out? She's finally going to see this out. Let's have a look. So Blinkova down the line, backhand by Garcia, forehand by Blinkova, forehand by Garcia, and Blinkova is unable to get it on. It is a break back by Garcia. Garcia has broken back to make it 5-5. What a showing of strength by Garcia in that one there, stretching herself out 5-5 from being behind for the majority of this set, as we could see by watching the live scores when we were covering Kasatkina versus Vondroušová. Reminder again that Vondroušová lost and Kasatkina won in straight sets, very tight straight sets, but straight sets nonetheless. We're at 5-5, so Garcia now serving to take the lead in this final set. Garcia getting herself ready. It is Ali's gyro. Up the line. Second serve, just hit long. 2 hours and 43 minutes on the 2 hours and 34 minutes on the clock. Okay, so we got a backhand exchange. Forehand by Garcia, but she hits it long into the tram lines. It is now 15-love to Blinkova. Blinkova trying to keep herself pumped up in this. So Garcia up the line, no luck there. Another second serve. So Garcia, hits it long again. 30-love to Blinkova, or love 30 to Blinkova on Garcia's serve. This is not a way you want to start a service to the game. What could possibly be your last service game? Garcia just getting herself composed. Okay, we got a forehand by Garcia up the line. And she just makes it. Just hits the back end of the baseline. 15-30. 15-30. And please do comment in the chat what your feelings on this match. So Garcia getting herself ready. Cross court. Backhand, cross court. Backhand by both players. Cross court for both of them. Blinkova goes down the line. Strong, deep return. Goes for the drop shot. Caroline's able to reach it. And it just clips the line on the drop shot return. It was a drop shot on the drop shot return. Just clips the line. 30-all. 30-all at the moment. She's recovered back 2 of the points she lost in the first part of the game. Yeah, it was a black drop shot by Blinkova and a drop shot by Garcia. She's really feeding off the French crowd at the moment. Really feeding them off them. Up the line. It was unfortunately long. Oh, really strong kick on that forehand. We've got a backhand exchange though, and it's long by Garcia. It is long on the backhand. It was awkward. It was flailing, and she was unable to actually keep it on the island. It is now a break point here, a break point for Blinkova. Break point for Blinkova. Garcia again is self-composed. Wow, that was wide. That was wild as a first serve there. Backhand there. Forehand up the line. Backhand to backhand. And Blinkova gets the break. Blinkova gets the break. Blinkova gets the break 6-5. It is 6-5 at the moment. So Caroline Garcia will have to do it all over again if she wishes to stay in this match and break Blinkova on her own service game.
Coming to you every evening, night, day, depending on where you are in the world, will be The Last Ball Drops. This will be a show on talking tennis as soon as that ball drops on the last match of the day, morning, afternoon, evening or night at Roland Garros, probably on Philippe Chatrier. We will go live with a review of the day's play. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. That way, as soon as we go live, you'll get the notification, you can come and join us, and you'll get to hear the thoughts of people such as Mario, Damien, Jack, Nick, many more, maybe even me from time to time. You know the drill. Make sure you subscribe. See you soon.
We are in now to the... We've had the last sit down, the last proper sit down. Blinkova serving for the match here. 6-5. Hits it wide, but it is long. Long there by Blinkova. Second serve. Second serve here. Blinkova goes up the tee. And Garcia buries it in the net. Buries it in the bottom of the net. 15-love to Blinkova. 15-love to Blinkova at the moment. Okay, so Blinkova tries to go down the line, just hits the net onto a second serve. Okay, you got a forehand, backhand there. Forehand by Garcia, forehand by Blinkova. Really shoves Garcia wide. The ball in the air, but it doesn't land on the other side. It's now 30-love to Blinkova. 2 points away. 2 points away from an upset here. Blinkova looks pumped and ready for this. Blinkova does look pumped and ready for this. As we got a photo from Molly McGill showing the atmosphere on Philippe Chatrier at the moment. Blinkova tries to go out wide. It hits the net and clambers it away. Second serve. Second serve at the moment as the ball kids are still running into position. Garcia with a good return. We've got a forehand to forehand exchange. Backhand by Blinkova. Forehand by Garcia. Backhand by Blinkova. Long. Backhand by Blinkova. Long. It is now 30-15. Garcia is on the board in this game. Can she repeat what happened in the last service game and break Blinkova? Blinkova's not made a first serve in his service game yet. Well, is that going to change as well? Blinkova, yeah, it does. Forehand by Blinkova, forehand by Garcia, and it just bounces weird off the ground. So Blinkova has 2 match points. Blinkova has 2 match points, and Garcia looks infuriated with herself. I don't think we're going to see the same one-piece magic from last night taking place today by the looks of it. Be a disappointment for Garcia. She does not want to go out of her home tournament in the second round. But can she at least stop that? There is still more balls to play. Blinkova tries to go up the line, hits the net. Second serve. Wind's really picking up at the moment. Sun's blowing in and out of view. Blinkova hits it long, double fault by Blinkova. Takes us to 40-30. Okay, so Blinkova gets a good ball. Forehand down the line. Garcia just about reaches it. Blinkova up the line. Backhand by Garcia. Forehand by Blinkova. Backhand by Garcia. Forehand by Blinkova. Forehand by Garcia. Really doing all they can to stay in this point, both of them. Forehand by Blinkova. Oh, cross court passing forehand winner by Garcia. Blinkova ran to the net. Garcia stuck her ground, able to get a good purchase on that forehand cross court passing shot winner. We are at juice. It was juice in the last service game. Will the same result happen from that one before? This is a killer fight back at the moment by Garcia. As you say, if you're tuning in for Kasatkina Vondroušová, Kasatkina has won. We're just seeing the final few minutes of the Garcia match. Okay, so second serve. Garcia, forehand strong. Forehand long by Blinkova. Forehand long by Blinkova. Garcia, break point here. Break point to take it into a 10-point match tie break. The crowd is indeed rocking. What's going to happen here? Okay, Blinkova. Good, strong there. Forehand. Forehand by Garcia. Forehand by Blinkova. Backhand by Garcia. Forehand by Blinkova. Forehand by Garcia. Into the net. She fires it into the net. She was in control of that rally, and she relinquishes that control by firing that forehand into the net. We can see the clay swirling around like a tornado on the center court. Not what Garcia would have wanted. Back to juice. Blinkova. Good serve. And Garcia, all she can do is pat it like a patter cake into the net. Advantage Blinkova. She's got a sixth match point. Sixth match point. Can she convert this sixth match point? Blinkova. Oh, forehand long on that one there. Second serve. Wind's really kicking up at the moment. And it's long again. Another double fault on match point. At juice. We're back to juice. Back to juice. Six. I tell you what, 6 match points gone in a blink of her eye. Cross court, just long by Blinkova. Second serve here. Garcia is moving a bit back. Forehand by Garcia, forehand by Blinkova, forehand by Garcia, same by Blinkova, backhand by Garcia wide, and she does it. She is able to get the backhand winner. Looking up at the box, we've got a break point for Garcia. What a backhand by Garcia. Right, we got another break point here for Garcia. Can she convert? Can she get it to 6-6? Cross court. Good backhand by Garcia. Oh, really strong cross court forehand by Blinkova. Takes Garcia from one coast and sticks the ball in the other. Back to juice. I'll tell you what, Alcaraz have a hard showing to compete after this match. As the clock says, 2 hours and 48 minutes. backhand by Blinkova, forehand by Garcia, forehand by Blinkova. Got a forehand to forehand exchange, backhand by Garcia, forehand by Blinkova, backhand by Garcia, backhand by Blinkova, backhand by Garcia into the net. Blinkova has a 7th match point. 7th match point. 7th match point here. How is this going to go? Oh, and into the net by Blinkova. It was a good return, but then she fired it into the net on the return. Not good for her in her attempts to get this match sorted. I don't think anyone's going to win this match, it feels like. Things popping up. Cross court by Blinkova. Excellent forehand by Blinkova. Well, so excellent serve by Blinkova out wide. Gives her her 8th match point. Into the net by Blinkova. Second serve. Cross court. Garcia, strong backhand return. Backhand by Garcia. Backhand by Blinkova. Why? Oh, what's happened here? Garcia thinks that Blinkova's forehand was long, but she did hit a winner though. How's it going to play? And it is marked as long. So we are at, and it was just long. Back to juice, 6 juice at this point. Don't think we're ever going to have a winner from this match. Let's see what happens. So Blinkova tries to go for the long one, goes long beyond the baseline. Blinkova goes long again. Garcia, strong backhand. Comes to the net. Oh, Blinkova, though, is able to pass her with a forehand running passing drop. With a passing forehand winner. That's the word I'm looking for. So at the ninth, cats have 9 lives. Blinkova gets 9 match points. Will number 9 be successful? Will it be the killer strike? Cross court, and she does it. Blinkova makes the biggest shock of the day so far, defeating Caroline Garcia 4-6, 6-3, 7-5 in an epic match on Philippe Chatrier that just falls shy of 3 hours. If you were joining, as we see, we're coming up to the 2-hour mark here at the moment. Kasatkina has, my voice is almost going to go. It's going to be quite fun. Kasatkina won her match, winning it 6-3, 6-4. Earlier on, I was just covering that, and then we just came over to this one because it was an exciting end to the final set there. I hope you've all enjoyed this stream. Like you've seen with all the adverts, if you stuck around for a while, all the John Silk's awesome little videos. We've got all the different sort of live comms of Djokovic's match later on. Last ball drops, which takes place after the end of the last ball gets hit at the French Open every single night as a sort of like a wrap-up daily show. Bummer, I was rooting for Garcia. Do you know what, guys? I'm a Garcia fan, so I kind of hoped she was going to be able to do well, but them's the breaks, as they say. Thank you, James and John. Thank you, everyone, for your time in the chat, for commenting, for interacting. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've not found my ranting okay as a tennis ranter, and that you've enjoyed it from there. And all that's left to say is have fun watching the rest of the French Open.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered. Whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. coming to you every evening, night, day, depending on where you are in the world, will be The Last Ball Drops. This will be a show on talking tennis as soon as that ball drops on the last match of the day, morning, afternoon, evening or night at Roland Garros, probably on Philippe Chatrier. We will go live with a review of the day's play. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. That way, as soon as we go live, you'll get the notification, you can come and join us, and you'll get to hear the thoughts of people such as Mario, Damien, Jack, Nick, many more, maybe even me from time to time. You know the drill. Make sure you subscribe. See you soon. Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered. Whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.